So you can use the chat, and we have Wanda and Teresa and members of our team that can help answer questions in that chat for you also. So again, welcome to our open house. So we have an interesting story. This school started 22 years ago. Our son Michael was a champion motocross racer. I worked at the school system, and I have a master's in education. And we quickly realized that there was no way that our two students were going to stay in public traditional brick and mortar school with the amount of races that we had in our contract. So we quickly came up with a solution. Well, I say quickly, but we did try other programs and found that they really didn't meet our needs. So we created a program where our students can be successful, where your students can be successful, that provides flexibility, online personalization, and a connectivity to people that truly care about our students' success. We have a vision and a mission at On Track School. We believe pursuing an education is possible while chasing your dreams. Our shared mission is to make educational success achievable for everyone, and that every student deserves an academic option that affords them the opportunity to realize success. Our core values that we've actually come up as a team with are family, passion, respect, integrity, and fun. And our beliefs include believing in God, the Pledge of Allegiance, and school choice. We believe students need to own their education and be a partner in that process. And we believe we are a community, and together that we can move mountains. This is our team of our support team and contacts. I think everyone on here is in this meeting today, mostly everyone. So it's amazing, all the way from our enrollment team lead to curriculum and shipping is Kenzie, Erica, enrollment team lead, Teresa, accounts receivable, Lakin helps our K through 8 families get onboarded. Amy helps our high school students with engagement. I introduced Tracy as our school choice coordinator. That's a full-time job pretty much, figuring out how to work with different states. Michelle is our Director of Education. Wanda, Director of Excel and Student Success. London, Director of Human Services. And Tasha, Chief Operating Officer. And I'm proud to be the CEO and founder. When we talk about student success, we like to share some data with you. So our retention rate is about 70% of our students stay with us. We've had students graduate that started with us in 3rd grade, and we're really proud of that. A good portion of this chart here is the 15% roughly that graduate. And so there are students that for one reason or another withdraw, and that's 8.5%. That could be for financial reasons. Maybe they find that socialization is really important for them and they go back to a brick and mortar school. But for the majority of our students, our retention rate is very high. We're proud of our assessment data because not only are we starting at a good level of being on track, but we are showing that we are growing in the material that we're learning from year to year, and we can measure that growth with the different assessments that we have. And then our graduation rate is close to 100%, and the national average is 87%. In the 20 years that I've been involved with growing On Track School, I can maybe think of 2 or 3 students that had a rough time, and that's because of that motivation that maybe wasn't there. But honestly, the amount of students that graduate with us is something that we're really proud of. So what are the tools for success with On Track School? Well, we have many tools, but we narrowed them down here for you. We provide an orientation. If you were going to the starting line or you were going to a meet or whatever sport or interest that your student has, you wouldn't want to just show up to the performance without being provided an onboarding experience. So the orientation provides that, and that's what our engagement coaches help with, to make sure that you're getting to that first lesson knowing how On Track works. Then we have live learning sessions. I know that our students are across the country and it's very difficult to be able to attend if the schedule doesn't work out, but if it doesn't, they are recorded. Learning materials are provided, and these are vast. There's licenses to all different online tools that are available for your student. Interactive lessons and other digital materials are all included. In the orientation process, we provide a reading and a math diagnostic. This is really important because we want to set up your student for success. We want to address, the gaps in learning and make sure that we're filling them in. So instead of doing a state standardized test, we do benchmark assessments at the beginning, the middle, and the end of the year. And it helps us address where those needs are or if there are enrichments that we can provide. And then power traits. This is something that I used from the very beginning with my students when I learned that we needed to do education in a different way. And this shows us where students' strengths are and where their challenges are. And we work to personalize as much as we can in a virtual environment how to leverage those power traits. I think this is a really important tool for parents at home too. And speaking of parents at home, you become our home coaches. Our teachers become the learning coaches, and we form a team so that we can all be a part of making sure your student is successful with us. So about programs and tuition, K-8 has two different pathways. There's opportunities to talk with the enrollment coaches about what these pathways look like. So for the purpose of this meeting, I'll be pretty general. But if you are at all interested and you go to the website and you schedule a call with, one of our enrollment coaches, we can explain this in more detail. And I think there are different tuition levels that we can get more into detail with regarding Excel. Excel is more of an asynchronous learning pathway where the other standard pathways have the live sessions. So the tuition rates vary in whichever program you are in. In the high school pathways, we have standard. We also have Excel, which is the asynchronous, and we have a program that we'll talk about a little later in the presentation about apprenticeship, which gives you that intern experience as well. We do offer summer school if students want to stay sharp on their English and math skills. We have some other opportunities for credit recovery during summer school. And there's a link down here if you're interested in summer. Connection is really big for us. So when I'm asked, what is the difference between on-track school and other virtual schools, I always say connection. So we actually have a homecoming dance. It is in Gainesville, Florida, or Alachua, if I'm pronouncing that. Alachua? I'm not sure. I'm still new to Florida. But we do have a homecoming dance, and it's really fun. It's for middle school and up, or 8th grade and up, and it's in Gainesville. We have a prom, and it's at Loretta Lynn's mansion at our big event in Hurricane Mills, Tennessee. And that's in August, and that's for 9th through 12th grade. We have a graduation ceremony during that same week. Believe it or not, this is a championship race, but we have families that travel all across the country to come to this event because we're so close to Nashville. Why not take care of, a family vacation, prom, and graduation at the same time? Scholarship race is something that we've been involved in motorsports because we feel that if basketball and football and other sports have scholarship opportunities for students, why can't motorsports kids have the same opportunity? That's a really exciting thing that we do, and you can learn more about that at scholarshiprace.com. We have student events where, we've mentioned some of these, but we have activities at the various events that we go to. Something we love to do is get our on-track shirts and get together for a picture and other, ways to meet families, coffee, donuts, all kinds of fun things. And then our social, if you get into our Facebook, Instagram, things like that, we do podcasts, virtual field trips. Today, I attended a virtual field trip with Miss Jen, and it was incredible. We got to speak with an immigrant. She was obviously acting, and she was from 1913, and her name was Victoria. And she explained what it was like to come over as a Jewish family from Greece and live in New York City on Orchard Street. So that just really touched my heart to see these kids in this virtual field trip asking her questions and seeing where she lived. So lots of ways to stay connected. And then we have some testimonials on here. And I love that we have an ambassador. We have a graduate who, was in his 40s and decided to come back and make sure that he graduated. This happens frequently. Well, not as frequently as I'd like, because I keep pestering some of those professional athletes that haven't graduated, because they do have an opportunity to come back. Then we have some parents, an apprentice, and we'll talk about that a little bit more, and a learning coach. And these are available on our website. So these are our programs that we're really proud of. The scholarship opportunities we have available. We have partners like Ken Roxon, Weisco, Sarah Price. We're building our partner page. That's at ontracklearningsolutions.com. And you can look at who our partners are that provide the scholarships at this particular link. We have a process in March where students can apply for those by April and use those funds for the following year. The apprentice program is something that we started with MX Sports. I'm thrilled about it to work with Miss Tasha on this, because we now have apprentices that are working at Feld, and they have an opportunity. And if some of you don't know, who Feld are, they put on Supercross. But I know a lot of what we talk about is moto related, but we're looking to branch this out, to your local car dealership or a hospital in your community. We can work through an apprenticeship program and provide that internship hands-on experience through our program. And the ambassador program, these are students that are selected to receive scholarships provided by On Track School, and they work together with a mentor. They do some John Maxwell leadership courses. They work through various Stephen Covey curriculum, and they represent us out in the community. And now I would like to have Tracy come on and explain school choice to you, which is extremely exciting, because if you don't know yet, and I'm sure you do know something about it, education is reforming across the country, and the federal government has given the states the right to do what they will do with scholarship dollars. So Tracy, take it away.
Okay, thank you, Andrea. Hi, everyone. So right now, On Track is working with 7 different states. We're working on our 8th that we've partnered with. In case you don't know what a school choice scholarship is, which we hear from a lot of people that live in states that offer it that they did not even know it existed, or automatically people assume that there is a financial strain on whether or not they'll be able to a financial limit on what they're allowed to participate in. So majority of these states, and I believe everyone that we are partnered with, is not based on finances. It's based on residency. The 7 states that we are partnered with are Arizona, Arkansas, Florida, Utah. Let me see. I think Tennessee. Where else am I missing? West Virginia, Alabama. Okay, got them all. And we are currently working on Texas. Texas is launching this year. We are working tirelessly. I don't say that to be dramatic. I mean, all day, every day, we are working on making this work out with On Track in Texas. So we're feeling pretty positive on it. It's just going to take a minute. It's a new program that's being launched, so it will take a second to get the ball rolling, but we're working on that now. Many of these states have pretty strict deadline or open enrollment periods, I should say. Florida is open now. Tennessee is open now. West Virginia and Arizona are year-round scholarships. So, whereas in some states, such as Florida and Tennessee, you're enrolling now to hopefully get a scholarship for the 26-27 school year. States like West Virginia and Arizona are year round. You can apply anytime. You will get funding based on when you have applied. So if you apply now and you get approved, you would probably get fourth quarter funding. So they'll take whatever the amount is of the scholarship. Arizona is somewhere around $8,000. You may get 2,000 out of that still for the end of the year, and then you would apply for next year. So with all of these scholarships, whether they're year round or they are on a short open enrollment period, you always want to apply at the very beginning of that open enrollment if you can. The earlier on you apply, the more funding you get. This has made me a lot of friends with the parents because these scholarships are very generous. To give you a little background on myself, I have 4 children. All 4 of them have either graduated from or currently with On Track. Since long before I worked for On Track, my son graduated from On Track 3 years ago, and my daughter graduated last year. So I have 2 more to go. 3 out of the 4 are on have been or are on scholarship now. Um, these states are very generous with what they give out and what you are allowed to spend it on. So if you live in any of the states that we have listed as far as our partnership goes at this time, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. Let me get you some information on them. Again, we've talked to so many people from, let's say, Arizona, because we had 2 in Arizona over the last few weeks that had no idea this existed. They applied, and in less than 24 hours, they were approved. They had an approved contract, and they already have the funding. So that's something you just can't beat it. It almost seems that it can't be real, but it is. So it's
Mhm.
always great when the state gives you money. It's rare and it's great. So please feel free to reach out. And if you don't see your state listed here, the state that you live in, don't give up hope because everything is changing every day. Every single day, we're adding more schools that are taking on these school choice scholarship opportunities. And every day, we are working with different states to partner with them. So just keep an eye on everything that we have going on our end through social media. We do have a school choice scholarship powered by On Track School Facebook page, which we put all of our updates on. And we would love to help you get this financial aid out of these states.
Awesome. Thank you for that. Can we put that link to the Facebook page down in the chat?
Yes, I think there's actually a slide of it as well, but let me see. Yes, I will get it and put it in for sure.
Awesome. Thank you for that. I added your
Okay.
email in there too, Tracy.
Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah, it is exciting what's happening in all the states, but every single one of them works completely different. So it's very,
Yes.
very tedious, and we really appreciate what you're doing to support that, Tracy.
Yep. Love doing it. Thank you.
Yeah. So right now we'd like to open it up to Q&A. So please feel free to either use the chat or come off your mic and let us know how we can help answer any questions that you have. We have our contact information here on our website. There's a link. You can set up a call with Erica, our lead enrollment coach, and we love talking to our parents and knowing how to help you find what's right for your student. We know the students that are successful in our school. I will say that it is like a team approach, you know, having the support at home, knowing you've got the support at school, choosing the way you want the support at school is something, a conversation that we can have with you would help you, because what depends on how motivated your student is, right? But I know that there's many personalized options here. So anyway, we have a question from Lynn. The scholarship race, is that only available for motocross? Right now it is. as we get introduced to families in other sports and we can make connections with those sports, for example, we have students that are in karting. And so as we get to know the promoters of the karting races, the model that we have built for scholarships is easily transferable over to other sports. So if we can learn more about that, we can certainly work with promoters to accomplish that. I hope that answers your question, Lynn. It is exciting to have scholarships. I can tell you, we have a whole slide of data on that, but in the last 7 years, we've raised about $175,000. And we have the data to support how many students have been able to use that. What happens is it goes into a 529 account. We work with promoters, we work with track owners to gain donations into our nonprofit, which is a separate entity. And then we help families open up a 529 educational savings account. And then based on how they finish and how that model is set up to, regarding how many people are in the race, all the details, that money gets transferred over. And that's something I really enjoy doing, is knowing that we're helping, students continue their education. And it does not have to just be for college, by the way. It can be for vocational school, educational materials. And so there's future savings. Any other questions that we can help you with? I would be remiss if I did not tell you about our early bird special staring me in the face right now. So, in March, if you register, you save $150 off the registration fee for the next school year. And if you register in April, which I think is only open until the first week of April, you'll save $125 off. And so every year that you return, you also have savings on that. So the early bird is always happening year after year. Do any members of our team want to share anything else that I may have forgotten before we sign off?
I do have some FNQs, just some quick kind of questions that a lot of parents ask. I can pop that up on the screen real quick if you guys would like to check that out.
Perfect.
Give me just one moment, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you, Zoe. Thank you so much for the behind the scenes work you're doing there. That's a great question. Is this a homeschool program? So it feels like homeschool because you're doing this at home, but it's a private accredited online K through 12 school. So I always ask people to say, remember, this isn't a homeschool program. Does anybody know the difference between a homeschool program and our program? In a homeschool program, the parents are the teacher. So when we started this, even though I'm a teacher at heart, right, and with my degree, I'm a teacher, I wanted to make sure that our students had teachers and take off the responsibility from the parent so the parent can be the home coach and the support as a parent.
I just wanted to mention quick, if you are in the state of Florida applying for a scholarship, though, you will apply for the homeschool scholarship to use us. Don't forget that.
Thank you for saying that. I know after all the training that we do saying, no, we're not a homeschool program, then I
know.
have to
Yeah, we have to have brief memory loss for a minute there.
Yeah. Exactly. Thank you for saying that. Because we have a lot of Florida parents here. Is there an attendance requirement? Yes, students are required to meet with an assigned homeroom coach for goal meetings. However, all the assignments are due Sunday night. So students have the flexibility to complete assignments at their own pace, but it is important to meet with their homeroom coach and have a goal meeting. And a goal meeting is basically How are things going? What's working really well? What's not working so well? And how can I better support you? Do students receive a diploma? Yes, absolutely. Graduating students receive an accredited high school diploma, not a GED. And how does the program work? We use Google Classroom. That's our online platform with a blend of digital curriculum, grades 6 through 12, and physical materials are available as an option for K-5 with live instruction, interactive lessons, and teacher support. Our learning coaches are amazing. All of our students have access to Google Apps for Education, and even though they have their live lessons, they can contact their teacher through Google Chat. I used to say the bubbles go up and they come back. I mean, I think they have better response time in this virtual environment than they do in school many times. What if my student returns to public school? Because we are accredited, transferring credits are not a problem going back and forth into school. You may find that if that does happen, that students are ahead of where students are when they go back to school. Do we pay for the whole year up front? No, tuition is based on a 10-month schedule. We do have 12-month options, and we do require a 30-day written cancellation notice. How do live sessions work? Live sessions at On Track are optional, virtual classes where teachers review lessons, answer questions, and support students in real time. Students can join for extra help and connection, and most sessions are recorded for later viewing. This is like one of the most important questions that students ask, right? How many hours a day am I going to be doing school? You know, it really does depend on what grade level you're at. For example, a kindergarten or first grader would maybe be doing an hour a day. A high schooler might be doing 3.5 hours a day. I get students excited when I tell them if you work really hard Monday through Thursday, you could take off Friday. That's a travel day for a lot of people. So it really is up to you. And our coaches are there to help you, build that calendar, use those power trait assessment answers, and see what's going to work best for you and help your parent with that maybe in your first goal meeting. Can you provide a preview of the curriculum? A preview of the Google Classroom and materials can be requested, and we can schedule that with a member of our team. How do I track my child's progress? We use Alma as a student information system, and we have an app for that, so parents can track it there. And they're also given login information so that you can see it anytime. And connection, also reaching out to the teachers if you need help with any of that, if you can't log in. What computer does my child need? Any brand of computer. We don't recommend an iPad. I think a laptop works best. What does the school calendar look like? It's really based on a traditional calendar, which would be late August through maybe mid-June. It's a total of 36 weeks, 2 semesters, holiday breaks. We do have 2 weeks at Christmas. We have 2 weeks at spring break, a week at Thanksgiving. Can my child work ahead to finish school early? Absolutely, yes. On Track encourages students to maintain weekly work, but you also have the ability to work ahead. We have students graduate early sometimes, as long as their GPA is consistent and where it needs to be. So thank you for sharing those, Zoe. Do you offer discounts or scholarships? I think we added some of these in there with our scholarship program, but we do offer additional discounts, sibling discounts, referral credits. Every family that an On Track family refers to our school, you get a $100 credit. That's pretty much been the same. You can refer as many families as you want and get as much credit off your tuition. The early bird discount that we talked about, we do have a military discount in the scholarship options. What if we travel with limited internet? That's a great question. Assignments can be printed and submitted once internet access is available. And it really comes down to communication. In a virtual environment, I think the most important thing is to communicate. How do you put your hand up in a virtual environment? Contact your teacher, let them know. We're very understanding and reasonable. Is there an attendance requirement? I think we answered that question already, to be at the goal meetings. What if my student has an IEP or 504 plan? Personalized plans and coaching support help ensure success regardless of learning needs. So we find that our students with IEPs and 504s, for the most part, do very well in our school because of the attention that they receive and because of the support that's built into the program. But it is important when you register that we are communicating that there is an IEP or 504 plan so that we can make sure that we're taking all of that into consideration. Do we need a transcript to enter high school? Yes. Transcripts show, the completed courses and what credits can be transferred over into that required high school total, and helps us plan for the classes that need to be taken for whichever pathway is chosen. And we do have open enrollment. So yes, students can start anytime and they can begin the calendar week where they are. But still we give that diagnostic. No matter when you start, you still have that orientation process so that we know that we're placing our students where they'll be most successful. Is a general diploma available if not college bound? Yes. That doesn't mean GED, but it does mean that, yes, multi-graduation pathways exist based on goals, college, vocational, or life option, and all the diplomas that we offer are accredited. I think we thought of all the questions there, so that was great. Thank you for that, Zoe. So families, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to stay on here in case there's any more questions. Again, you can go to ontrackschool.com. You can click on schedule a call and one of our enrollment team members will get with you and we'll be very excited to hear from you. And thank you, team. Thank you for being here today and supporting our open house. Oh, I'm looking at the chat. Sorry about that. Okay, so we did address the 504 question. Lynn, if there are any other questions, feel free to reach out to us or we can discuss that with you right now. Wanda, you answered that. Thank you. Perfect. Okay, I was just catching up. Okay, bye everybody. Zoe, are we able to send this recording out to emails? Do we have emails collected?
Yes, we should have the emails from the Zoom, and then I'll send it out to our inquiry list as well.
All right, awesome. Thank you. Got it, Tara. Thank you for that.
I'm going to stop the recording.